off with mindset and affirmations. And like literally when she starts talking, y'all are going to be like, why wasn't she on here this whole entire call? Because Kim really, I'm just kidding. I mean, not really though. But anyway, y'all, we have Emerald Ambassador Kristen Wyatt about to rock our socks off.
Hey, I was booing your last comment, but I wasn't booing
myself. I was like, Kimmy, you did awesome. Kimmy, you're amazing.
Yes, I know. I wish I could have been on the whole time. Thanks for letting me hop on kind of late, you guys. But I had an event starting right at 8:32. But you guys, funny story, and this is a true story. I saw that Kimmy posted on y'all's page that you guys were going to have this event. And I literally messaged Rachel and Kimmy together. And I was like, oh, it's fine. I'm just mildly offended that you didn't invite me on that team call. It's fine. I'm totally fine about it. And I was giving them such a hard time. By no means was I expecting her to be like, oh, does that mean you can come on? Like we were just teasing at that point. But it's because I am, and they know this because I talked to them about it. They're good friends of mine, but I talked to them about this, like how mindset breakthrough is literally the only reason I've ever seen success with Plexus, because it was the one missing link for me, because I was so consistent with my IPA for so long, and I have that red personality that when objections come, it doesn't derail my activity, whereas the majority of people that may have a little different personality, when you're in a bad mindset, it derails what you're doing. It derails your motivation and it derails that activity that you put forth. For me, I couldn't really relate to that. Regardless of where I was at with my mindset, I would be rolling out of bed just like, annoyed with people or so full of fear and anxiety over my business, but I would still do my IPA. I'd get a list and I would check. And even then, my business wasn't thriving. And so it's just so interesting how that can be the missing link and the main component, regardless of how much activity you're putting forth. So I am going to just all that to say, I love you guys. I love this team. And this is something I'm so passionate about that I literally was like, can I talk to them about this? Because I just love it so much. And it's something I'm so passionate about. And I love you guys. And I know that if I want any team to have breakthrough, it's this team. And I know for myself, like my mind, you guys already are just killing it from a business perspective. And so if I can help even just one person that might be having some of those mindset objections, I will be so excited to do that. So what I want to share with you guys tonight is actually something, just a little tiny training that I did for my team at our retreat. And they were just crying and found it really impactful. And so I wanted to share it a little bit with you guys because, like I said, it's just been something that has been so heavy on my heart. And I just realized that my notes are in the kitchen and it's dark in there, and because my kid is sleeping, so nobody say anything for 1 second. Hold on. Okay, I got it. 1 sec. Okay, got it. My husband is putting my son down, and he sleeps in his big boy bed now because we've been co-sleeping for a long time, but he loves his big boy bed now. Literally every time he stays in it all night, because it's only been a couple nights, we're like, you get a car, you get another toy. How many toys do you want? Because he's doing so great. Anyway, I just wanted to get my notes down real quick. If y'all don't mind, thank you for being patient with me. So what I want to share with you guys, and I have to find it, sorry. And hopefully if you guys do have some paper, I would love for you guys to write down some of this down, because it's little things you might come back to later, if that makes sense. So I'd really love if you guys did that. It would mean so much to me. Okay, cool. So here's the thing. I feel like, and I think we can all kind of agree to this, that pretty much the number one reason why we, or maybe some potentials we have, don't really get started, don't officially dive into this, is one main component, which is fear, right? It's whether it's a potential or whether it's even been you kind of diving into a deeper level of your business or something like that. Fear sometimes holds us back. And I feel like those go-getters that you see, those people like nothing holds them back, man, they're just so motivated all the time. It seems like they're so motivated. Really what it is it's just that they're more afraid. They're actually more afraid. And I'm not saying living in fear to the point where you're letting it control you. But what I mean is that they're more afraid of the idea of what their life would be like without this and without doing it. Oh, sorry. Can y'all hear me? I hear somebody. Is that okay? Y'all look good? I don't know if that's, no, that's not me. I'm like, is that me? No, I don't have anyone around me. Okay, sorry. So really it's that we have more, people that are go-getters, we sometimes have more fear, and it's not fear in a bad way. It's motivational type fear that we're more afraid of what our life would be like if we didn't do this. We're more afraid of the lack of impact that we could have these, this calling that we wouldn't be fulfilling. That's almost more scary to us than the actual steps that it takes to fulfill that calling. And people, I think, whether they're making a decision to buy our products or they're making a decision to dive into the business, or maybe even you making the decision to work your business, you get to a point where you say, I'm sick of this. Like, I am sick of this, whether it be your job, your health, whatever it is. People in that moment, that's when they make a purchase, is when they have a moment, a light bulb moment. No matter how many times you've messaged them, no matter how many great scripts you've given them, it takes a certain moment where they think, I'm sick of this. I'm so sick of this. I'm sick of feeling this way and whatever. And that's when they make that purchase. Well, people get excited about progress, right? That's like the number one thing that gets people motivated. Raise your hand if you've ever lost 10 pounds, gotten on the scale, and then immediately after went and stuffed your face with Doritos. No, ma'am. Because when you get on the scale and you've seen you've lost 10 pounds, does that not motivate you to be way more healthy, right? You're like, I'm eating kale all day because I'm amazing and skinny. You just feel incredible, right? It's because of progress. Progress is this thing. It fuels us. It helps us see that the work we're putting forth is doing something, right? Those seeds are finally blossoming, right? And so here's the thing. You don't have to be at your goal yet to feel that motivation. All it takes is progress, right? The first step for potentials to their first step, which is quote progress, is really just making their first purchase. The second they make that first purchase, that's progress for them. Wow, I've made this huge step, but then what? Sometimes they literally just sit on their products and don't even flipping open the box, right? And isn't that so frustrating for us? And so here's the thing. People in that mode, they're in what I call a desire situation instead of a must situation. Because there's a huge difference between I really desire this and I must do this for my health, or I must do this for my family, or I must do this for my finances. And it's all about taking those small steps. So what I always talk to my team about is really starting with a little bit of a mindset type of ritual, something that you do every single day to fuel your mind, because guys, your mind is an emotional muscle. Ashley Allsgard, is she on this call? Little fancy pants hot stuff did not get all hot by going to the gym one day and then being like, well, okay, that sounds great. Look at all this progress. No, it's a consistent thing. And she makes sacrifices, and she goes maybe when she's not feeling like going. And yeah, of course she might skip some days here, but on a consistent basis, she's going to the gym. Why do we think we have to go to one convention seminar, watch one call with Kimberly, watch one Les Brown call and be like, okay, I think I'm good now for my mindset? Nope. It's an emotional muscle. It has to be worked out and built on every single day. It is the most important income producing activity that you could possibly do. Number one. Okay. So as you can see, I'm really passionate about this. Okay. So here's the thing. We have to get, I'm sorry, I keep looking down. I have my notes. We have to get clear on why this is so important to us. Right? We have to get clear on that. That's a big one. You hear us talk about it all the time, your why, but you have to have that mindset system routine every day, which I'm going to get to in a minute, what I do every single morning to kind of help you guys. But I love what Tony Robbins says. He says, breakthrough happens by conditioning your mind every single day. That's when breakthrough happens. It's kind of like whether it be your relationship with your spouse, imagine if you like kind of put forth effort once in a while, like we'll go on a date night, but then we're probably not really going to talk. I'm not going to look to meet your needs. I'm not going to really communicate how I'm feeling. I'm just going to kind of do my own thing. Well, we're not going to have breakthrough in our marriage. It has to be consistent. It's the same with your relationship with God. It's the same with your relationship in your business, whatever it might be. It has to be something you condition your mind to, because unfortunately, our mind is just filled with so many things that we've been told since we were 4 years old that just to get a little sciencey with you guys, because this is so crazy that you understand the depth of this. Your conscious mind, which is the part of your brain that has a filter, when somebody tells you Santa is real, you think, I don't know if that's true or not. That conscious part of your brain is not developed until puberty. Well, I don't know about you guys, but I wasn't hitting puberty when I was 3 years old. I was hitting puberty in elementary school-ish. So, and I think it's probably different for men. So what you have before then, before your conscious mind is developed, all you have is your subconscious mind. And guess what? That sucker has zero filter. Everything it sees, hears, tastes, smells, etc., it takes it as fact. So if your family has demonstrated that marriage looks like an abusive, toxic situation, guess what? Your subconscious thinks that that's what love looks like. Or if you've been told, if you saw your mom over and over stepping on a scale and getting so frustrated with her results, guess what? You all of a sudden believe that stepping on a scale is important and that it's an emotional attachment there. And we get programmed with these things. Not trying to blame our parents for everything, but at the same time, it's kind of their fault. Can we just say that this is their fault? No, I'm just kidding. That is why your business isn't growing. It's basically your mom's fault. No, I'm kidding. But this is where we take our own personal responsibility with it, because what I mean by conditioning your mind every day is, number one, feeding it with a role model, feeding it with getting into what Tony Robbins calls that peak state, that mindset ritual where you just feel like you're in a great place. And having that mindset ritual, that's what helps you get into momentum from a mindset standpoint. Okay, so let's go back to what I was saying, the most important thing. Why? Why am I doing this? Why is this important? Because if you're not hungry for what it is you're doing, then you got to get around, like if you're complacent, you're just complacent. Maybe you actually, and guys, you guys know this is real. Have you ever been in a situation where you kind of hate it, right? Like, I mean, you hate being in debt, but for some reason you just keep spending money? Or you hate not having the best results with your body, or you hate feeling sick, but you just still aren't taking your products consistently. You're still not going to the gym. You don't know why. You don't know why you just keep putting donuts in your mouth. It's because we're complacent. We may not think that we're complacent because we're thinking in our head, no, of course I hate this. I don't want to feel like this, but we keep doing it. Okay. So it's something that if you're not hungry, you need to get around hungry people. That is your number one homework. Get around people that are so hungry for this, because and I'm flipping through some of these pictures so I can see you guys. I know some of you guys I can't see, and that's totally fine. But if you have ever had a meetup in person or over the phone or via Zoom with your sponsor and then left that meeting like so pumped, you're like, oh my gosh, I feel so much better now. I feel incredible. Like, I know I'm going to do this, whether it's your sponsor, a sideline, you watch a Diamond documentary, you're like, oh my God, this is so great. You feel incredible and pumped, right? And then those same people that just said, yeah, totally. Every time I hang out with my sponsor, I'm just so jazzed. How many of you guys a week later, though, are right back to where you were before you met your sponsor? Feeling down, and I don't know if this is for me, and blah, blah, blah. I've had people literally tell me, you guys, literally tell me, if I could just come over to your house, or if you could come over every day, like, oh, I know I would do so good, because when you're here, I'm like so diligent with my business. Well, sorry, last time I checked, I can't get on the phone with every single person from my team just so that they can catch the hungry vibe, right? So you have to surround yourself with hungry people. Let's see, what else? Okay, the main component I feel like why people, when they meet up with their sponsor, they get so pumped, and then a week later, something happens and they're right back where they started. It's because of a lack of a ritual. There's no morning ritual. There's no mindset ritual that you've done. It's just like boot camp that I told you. Okay, so how the heck do we get our mind in a better place? Yes, we've talked about this morning ritual, whatever, but I'm going to talk to you guys about something that it takes the cake. What is really needed here is certainty. I want you to write that word down, because what we hear is that of that word is the word belief, right? That's what we talk about within our company, but really it's certainty. Because let me ask you a question. When you are, not even a question, actually, I'm just going to tell it. I'm going to make a statement. I'm not even going to ask you your opinion. No kidding. When you are absolutely 150% certain of an outcome in a situation, if you were beyond a shadow of a doubt 110% certain that you will be a Jewel ambassador with Plexus, then you're going to do it. You're going to do what's necessary. If you are absolutely uncertain, like there is no way this works, this company is a total scam, which is our potentials, right? They're not going to do it. It doesn't matter if they have a hype lunch with you. They're completely certain that it's not going to work. Here's what kills us though, guys, is the majority of us are neither of those. We're right in the middle. We're right in the middle, which is like, well, maybe it will happen. Maybe it won't. Maybe it's for me. Maybe it's not. Maybe I'll be like this person. Maybe I won't. And that is the area that completely strips us of everything that's needed, you guys, is because we're right there in the middle. Who feels like they're there, or at least has been there? You don't have to raise your hand, but I want you to really think about, like, do I feel like I'm there, where I'm like, maybe this will happen, maybe it won't, and you have those moments, right? So we have to start with the problem in our belief, right, in our certainty. And you have to go to those beliefs that you have. What do you believe? And almost write them down. It's this vicious cycle, because maybe you're thinking, well, Kristen is probably a Jewel, or Kristen and Rachel, it makes sense, they're Jewel. They're very outgoing. They're very bubbly. They're very outgoing. They, make it kind of this fun thing. And God, that's just not my personality. I don't really want to be around people that like crazy happy, like stresses me out. I'm a total introvert. Like, whoa, like maybe you're positive, but you're like, that ain't me, shoot. And so you're like, maybe that's why they're that. That's a belief. Maybe it's that making too much money isn't good for you. Maybe it's that, whatever that belief is, okay? And what you have to do is you have to ask yourself, what if there was something that you could do that could make you filled with belief and absolute certainty? And I'm going to tell you tonight that there is. Dun, dun, dun. There is something. There is something you can do to fill yourself with absolute certainty. And I'm going to tell you what it is right now. You guys ready? Who's pumped? Hey. Okay. So first and foremost, I'm going to paint this picture of a little cycle of, if you will, okay? You have to think about that certainty thing we just talked about. You have to think about what your potential is in a situation. What you think your potential is, like if you think you have like a ton of potential to like definitely be a Jewel, you're totally certain about it. Or let's think the opposite. Let's say like, well, what's your potential? Like, maybe I'll be a Jewel one day, maybe not. Well, how much potential you think you have in any given situation, it directly correlates with how much activity you put forth in that situation. And the activity that you put forth in that situation, guess what? Ding, 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 you got it, dictates the results you're going to have, obviously. And then the results that you have, remember that progress thing that we talked about, the results, those go immediately fueled into your belief system, which is telling you, see, I told you couldn't do this. I told you you're not even getting good results. Look at everybody else around you. Look at all the success of the people around you. And then what does that do to your potential? Well, now you see even less potential in this situation, because now you're like, well, crap, maybe I can't even be a gem. Maybe I can't even go ruby. And then that determines your activity then, which is less and less. And then that gives you even worse results. And now it becomes this horrific, vicious cycle, you guys, that is going to kill your business. But if you can address, what's the thing that fueled our belief? It was the results, right? this is where your mindset ritual comes into play. Because your mind, this is a crazy fact, you guys, your mind doesn't fully know if you're just imagining something in your head or if it's actually happening. And I know that sounds so crazy, but that's why we have to guard our heart from different movies and exposure to kind of toxic environments, because your mind and your heart almost feels as if that's actually happening in front of you. It's not just play pretend to your mind and to your heart. And so what's so crazy is even basketball players, you guys maybe have heard me say this analogy before. These basketball players, they experimented with these professional basketball players because they get behind the free throw line, the best basketball players in the world, they get behind the free throw line and they choke. They choke under pressure. It's the hardest shot for them, and it's the easiest shot in basketball. I said baseball, like, hi, sports pop over here. Touchdown. Okay. Anyway. So they choke. So they're like, okay, what is going on here? Well, they took half of them and had them do a ton of free throw shots just over and over, like physical activity, go, 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 practice, practice, practice. They took the other half of them and said, you're not allowed to work out, you're not allowed to practice, and you're not allowed to touch a basketball. All you're going to do is close your eyes every day and visualize making the perfect shot over and over and over for 20 minutes. And I'm sure you can see where I'm going with this. Some of you maybe have heard me say this story before, but can you guess which group had drastically by like 97% better results than the other? It was the one that had conditioned their mind, because that's how powerful our mind is. It is more powerful than our physical body practicing the act if we can't see it happening in here. So you have to visualize the results that you want. You have to see yourself as a diamond ambassador, and you have to fake it till you make it, close your eyes every morning, visualize. Don't just pray over your business. Don't just, talk to God about it and yes, yes, yes to do all of that. But you then have to visualize as if you've already done it. You have to imagine yourself on the 15th of the month after you went diamond. You close your eyes, you log in, you go to reports, you click on commission summary, and you're flipping out because there's $31,000 on your check and who knows what else, and you're screenshotting it and sending it to your husband, and you're freaking out. And how does it feel? What does it look like? What does it taste like? What does it smell like? Where are you sitting? How do you feel? It happened. It's already happened. You are a diamond ambassador with Plexus Worldwide in the top of a billion-dollar company, and you've done it. You have, regardless of who was there with you, regardless of the team, and you're sitting down with, maybe you visualize sitting down with your spouse and you're going over your budget. I'm a big budget person, so I'm like getting out my spreadsheet, and you get all your bills in, and I like to put in the total check at the end, and then you see a balance. Like, what do I have left over? Sometimes in life, I've had it to where it's negative. I can't even pay my bills, right? With Plexus giving us so much hope, you're diamond ambassador. Let's say you've like really gone crazy with an elaborate lifestyle. I mean, gosh, your mortgage is crazy. You're living out in Florida, which Rachel says is really expensive. You have all these costs of living, the kids, the this, the that. And so it's like literally $11,000, let's say, every single month, all your bills alone. Okay, 11 grand. Well, oh gosh, guys, what are you going to do? Because you only have $20,000 left over after all your bills are paid. So, okay, well, honey, you know what we should do is we should pay like this kid's first semester in college we'll put in savings this month. And then the next month we'll put their next semester in college. So by the end of this year, we'll just have all of our kids' college just put in savings, right? Like, we'll be good then. Like, that's what you have to visualize. Come up with a scenario, come up with who you want to give back to, come up with your plan and visualize it. See it as done. That is key, key, key. And then guess what happens? Your mind doesn't know the differences whether or not it's really happening or if it's just in your mind. And so it tells your results, okay, well, hey, I mean, maybe we were wrong. It tells your beliefs, I guess we were wrong because she went diamond. Like, this is strange. I mean, I thought she couldn't do it. Her mom said she couldn't do it her whole life. Her parents said she'd never amount to anything. She didn't go to college, but whatever, I guess she went diamond. So all of a sudden your potential in that situation, you're like, oh, I guess I do have potential to be diamond because I'm already diamond. Like, well, that's weird. Okay, sounds great. I'm a diamond ambassador. And then what kind of activity do you think that makes you do? Activity that a diamond does because you think you're diamond. And then what results does that give you? fruit from your labor, people coming, different interactions, divine appointments. You're now hearing that voice of God telling you the things that you were shoving down out of fear. When he kind of nudges you to go talk to a certain person, now you're all of a sudden open to it because you have the confidence because you're a diamond. So that you start getting these incredible results. And then what does that tell your beliefs? See, I told you could do it. I told you we were diamond. I've been saying that from the beginning. And now all of a sudden what was such a vicious cycle is now this beautiful cycle of belief and encouragement. And it all was because you conditioned your mind into believing that you could do something that you didn't believe you could do before. But you have to start there. You have to visualize what it is you want. So this is the last thing I'm going to tell you guys. And I will share with you, if it's okay with you guys, maybe I could post what my morning ritual is to your team page or something. Would that be okay? That way I can let you guys go because I know you've been on for a while. So I'll do that so I can just share with you what I do to kind of condition my mind after my prayer time and stuff. And I will share that with you. But the last thing I want to tell you, and this really helps as far as affirmations and some of the stuff that Kimmy's been talking to you guys about, is I want you to ask yourself, what would the thoughts be of somebody who had already achieved what it is you're wanting? What would the thoughts be of somebody who is already diamond? Would they be fearful or afraid that they weren't diamond yet? Would they be nervous because, well, nobody wants to buy from me, so how am I ever going to get business builders? Would they be nervous about going live on social media because, oh God, nobody's going to want to join me? No. In fact, that would be weird. That would be like me praying to God for a little red-headed, big-headed baby named Jude. People would be like, whoa, she needs to be checked into a ward. You already have a cute baby named Jude, so why are you like begging and crying for it? Like, you have him. He's right there. I'd be like, weird. Well, that's how it is. You're already diamond. See yourself as diamond. See yourself as done. You can do all things 100% of the time. So if you're already diamond, then that's what your thoughts should be like. Your thoughts should be like the people who are already there. And then when that happens, you start seeing this potential and it dictates these activities you're doing. And all of a sudden you're finding yourself, and this works in every area of your life, guys. If you believe in if you're seeing your marriage as a peace in your home, you're seeing it as no more toxicity. It's life-giving. You're encouraging it. God's in the center of it. You're seeing this incredible, fruitful relationship. Then that's going to determine how much potential you see. Okay, maybe we will make it. Maybe we're going to make it. Maybe this is going to be great. And that's going to dictate how much activity you put forth. You're going to be being more selfless. You're going to be trying. You're going to be shooting for it. You're going to be going to that counseling, whatever that looks like for you and your family. And then what results is that going to turn into? A more fruitful, amazing marriage. And then it's that vicious cycle, right? So it's the same beautiful cycle, no matter what it is that you're wanting to, quote, I use the word lightly, manifest in your life. All that means is just you're wanting to speak it out and to believe that it can happen, and then trusting God with the rest and believing that the process part will be taken care of, and not focusing on the how, but just focusing on the end result, that I can do this and I'm not going to worry about how it needs to be done or what is or who's going to be there. And like, hello, I have no idea how I'm going to double my business to get to sapphire and then go emerald again to get to diamond. Like, like I would need, I think, like 27,000 more people working the business, right? Like, that's what it feels like. I have no idea how. I just know that I'm diamond. And when I think about going like ranking and stuff, I'm like, oh my gosh, my points look so low this month. They're not even close to 45. Oh wait, I'm not diamond yet. I have to remind myself all the time. I'm like, whoa, my points aren't anywhere near 4,500. It's the end of the month. Oh wait, I'm not actually diamond yet. Like, I have to actually remind myself that, because I so believe it. I so believe it in my heart that that's where I am and who I am and all of that. So that's all she wrote. That's all I got for you. And I will post my ritual to the page.
Thank you so much. Like,
Yay.
hashtag full cup.
Hashtag full cup.
As usual, full cup.
Hashtag full cup. I love it. Oh, sidebar requirement for everybody on this call. Go to Amazon.com. Type in diamond paperweight or something to that effect. You can do an emerald paperweight if you really want to, but I prefer it be diamond. So you dream big and buy one of those crystal paperweights. They're literally only like $15. Carry it around with you everywhere. You got to see it. You got to see it and feel it and think it and smell it. I literally carry mine with me everywhere. It's really heavy for my purse, but I'm fine with it.
I love it.
All right. Well, I love you guys.
Thank you so much.
Yes,
Y'all have
of course.
a great night.